Welcome back to Queen of the Indies Corner with a special edition of Wrestling with Positivity. If you're new here, I'm Queen of the Indies Tiffany. I interview wrestlers, promoters, referees backstage. I also give you a little bit behind the scenes of wrestling so you can see some of the things that go on in the wrestling world. Wrestling with Positivity has been a special project of mine for the last couple of years. I do incorporate it in my Under the Ropes interviews. Every episode, I ask whoever the guest is to give us something with Wrestling with Positivity. As you guys know, wrestling has a lot of negatives, and I like to focus on the positives. If you haven't watched any of the Wrestling with Positivity videos, please feel free, go back to the playlist, go watch all the episodes. There's been so many amazing stories that have been brought to light by parents, fans, promoters, wrestlers. There's ongoing so many stories. I love to bring this to light to you guys so you guys can see stuff that maybe you didn't even know existed. So, with that being said, let's see what we have in this special edition for you guys. Jack is back with another amazing story for us. So,
Hey, uh, when we talk about like positivity in wrestling, the thing that always comes to me is the positivity that can come after a tragedy, in that kind of way. And when we lost our head ref at ICW, Sean Patrick O'Brien, SPO, uh, it's kind of interesting because the way that the internet's opinion of Danny DeMonto is very different than the person that I know, because he was very much like, what can I do? Like when you lose a friend, your first thought is, what can I do? And there's not a whole lot, but we knew that the only thing that meant more to SPO than, you know, wrestling and his friends and his family and everything is JJ, his daughter. And so being able to put something together where we could make her first Christmas without her dad, as the least amount painful as we could possibly do, was important to everybody, but especially to Danny. So when we did our return show at the Hart Ballroom, at the middle of the show or so, we had Tara Zepp versus John Wayne Murdoch, great match, and then at the end, Mick Foley comes out in a Santa Claus outfit, and he makes the save, awesome time, huge surprise. That's the loudest I've ever heard Eddie building. And it was, there's like maybe 150 people in there, and it was the loudest I've ever heard any building. So afterwards, Mick Foley does meet and greet in the Santa outfit, and does his normal like meet and greet prices. It was like $20 for a picture, $20 for a signature, whatever. And he donated all of that to JJ, to SPO's daughter, along with all the money that we had already started fundraising to try to make a Christmas a happy one, as much as it could possibly be. And ICW, we jokingly say that ICW kind of became her godfather. And so that was always really cool that I always really respected, what Danny and everyone, and especially Mick Foley, for what he didn't have to do something like that, but it was brought up to him, and without a second thought, he went ahead and donated the profits that he made that day to JJ, and I thought that was awesome. And then when we make our return to the Hart Ballroom, one of our new reps for ICW, someone that me and you know for quite a while, DM Stevens, he always said that he wanted to do ICW. He wanted to be a part of that. He's known Danny for a very long time, and being able to do a show like that was a big deal to him. And he was pep talking with me in DMs, just like okay, I'm gonna ask, I'm gonna ask, I'm gonna ask. And then literally, like, I think an hour after he told me he was gonna ask, there was a graphic that says DM Stevens, referee at the Hart Ballroom. And he ended up doing an Iron Ref performance, doing the whole thing, and he said, I wanted to do something special. So he had a custom ICW SPO shirt made, a ref shirt. And then from there, uh, he decided to auction that shirt off, and the profits went to Jeff Cannonball, who is dealing with his own issues as well. And the way that the deathmatch community, wrestling specifically, but the deathmatch community comes together to take care of our own, I'm always very inspired by it. With all the blood and guts and everything, there's a lot of heart there, and I love that.
Oh, I love that. Oh, two great stories. Oh, I love that so much. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
So this one is from Rory from Pro Wrestling Symphony. So he says, family legacy. Pro wrestling has always been a significant part of my identity and family culture. My grandfather, Tom Miller, was a ring announcer for the Nick Gulas Jerry Jarrett arm of NWA Mid America in Middle Tennessee during the days of Tommy Rich, Toho Yamato, and the like. I grew up hearing all sorts of wild stories from both my grandfather and father, who never worked in the business, but attended tons of shows alongside his dad. My first live event that I remember attending was a WWF house show that came through my hometown when I was about 4 years old. Naturally, this was a passion I hope to pass to my child. Fast forward to this year, as we prepped for our debut symphony show on June 1st, my son, who is 7, has watched wrestling on TV with me very passively. He knows some of the bigger names like Roman Reigns, The Rock, Logan Paul because of YouTube. But beyond that, he hasn't seemed to gratify to it like I remember doing. He was intrigued and excited at the idea that his dad was going to run a wrestling show, though. He had tons of questions you might expect from a well-meaning but informed kiddo. Will Roman Reigns be there? Are you wrestling? If not, what do you actually do? Can I sit with my friend at the show? I answered them honestly and as best as I could explain to his inquisitive little mind, though I was stressing over the intricacies and headaches of running a promotion. I was motivated that much more by my son's enthusiasm for the event. On the day of our debut show, I set out early to load up and prep the venue with my business partners and crew. Meanwhile, my dad scooped up the kiddo and along with other family members and friends, attended the event and we had a blast. It was only after the fact that I realized that my son's first live pro wrestling show wasn't WWE or some touring promotion, but it was mine. Not only did I get to introduce him to this crazy, beautiful world of headlocks and smack talk, but I got to put on the show for him. He's attended multiple shows since the debut event. I too busy get to watch the shows alongside him, but I'll always try to sneak away and give him a hug or a high five and hear his take on his action. It's a joy to experience the shows from his perspective. Are you okay? I saw you got knocked down. I'm going to see Cruel in my nightmares. Is Bosby the best wrestler? He must be because he has the belt. Well, had. My friends all think you're a wrestler, but I told them that they just work for you. I know starting a promotion is risky, expensive, and sometimes harrowing endeavors, but as a parent, I could say that being a dad is all that and more. I'm thrilled beyond measure that I have contributed to this joy and wonder in my son's heart. Maybe he became obsessed with wrestling like I did, collecting action figures and building supercards in the bedroom. Maybe he just watches on occasion to connect with his old man. Maybe he moves on to something else, or that is fine by me, because no matter what, we had the past year of events that brought us closer as father and son, and has connected us even deeper to our family history. And when we visit my grandpa, his great-grandpa, this Christmas, maybe the kid can hear some of those same road stories that captivated me all those years ago. And maybe the kid will have some stories of his own to share with us. So, and then he thanked me for doing this series. He goes, it's a thrill Tiffany, to write this up for you. Best of luck on the project. Thank you so much. And make sure you guys check out Pro Wrestling Symphony.
So Tiffany, Queen of the Indies, asked us to talk about some of our favorite moments where charity and wrestling connect. And we can't think of a better example than our friend Matt Griffin, CEO of Action Wrestling, and his annual Bangers Only show. Not only is it their biggest show, one of the biggest shows of the year, but it also doubles as a Toys for Tots drive. Matt, a former United States Marine, thank you for your service, and wants to give back, and it's an organization that's dear to his heart. And I just think that this is an incredible way to give back this time of the year. And I mean, wrestling and good times and gift giving and just being generous. It all goes hand in hand, dude.
Yeah, and it means a lot, right? As a father myself, and I know Matt's the same way. Um, you know, being able to provide gifts for those kids and have their smiling faces. Hey, Santa came, right? It's one of those moments that you live for, and it is why wrestling is fantastic. It's why wrestling is so amazing, because yes, they provide so much for us in the ring, but to be able to do this outside of the ring and raise money for a great cause is really what makes wrestling special to me. I won't speak for you, but makes it special for everybody involved, and for us to be able to call Matt Griffin a friend is something that I don't take lightly. And being able to do this is just it's great.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone to more than our fair share of indie shows, and there's just something about the environment of action and the way that you see talent interact with kids that, I mean, it goes together. Action, Toys for Tots, Bangers Only. It's like peanut butter and jelly. I mean, these events are always fun to watch. It's fun to watch the kids get involved and excited about what they're seeing in the ring, and then knowing that we're helping people. It's just a phenomenal cause, and to know that is on their calendar every single year without fail, that he wants to make sure that he's taking time and taking the opportunity to use his platform and the service and entertainment that he provides to the Southeast United States, and is using that to also give back. I mean, icing on the cake, man.
Yeah, and we know how hard he works, and to be able to add this to his play is just something amazing. So shout out to you, Action, and shout out to Matt Griffin.
Cheers, Matt. We love you. And cheers, Tiffany. You were phenomenal. This is an incredible idea. Thank you for having us be a small part of this. Happy holidays to you and yours.
So Matt Griffin is back with another story for us.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot this year that I have so many things that I can be thankful for, like working with Ring of Honor, having Tony Khan go ahead and take care of some of our things, and I feel like this year Action Wrestling and myself have been the recipient of so many people giving, and seeing what we're doing and wanting to work with us, and I think that just goes in terms of what we do, like. As I talk about this right now, I'm at a toy drive, and we're doing a wrestling show as entertainment at a toy drive. We do Toys for Tot events. We do benefits at schools. And I think using wrestling as a platform to go ahead and give and help your community and help younger people get interested in wrestling, which will just go ahead and multiply for us for what we do. I just think, this year I've been so grateful to be the recipient of so many people and companies wanting to go ahead and give to us, and it's nice to be able to go ahead and give back in our local community. And that I run a Toys for Tots show every December, and giving them some funds, and having Action fans come and bring toys and look forward to bringing toys to the event every year is just really cool. As a Marine veteran, Toys for Tots is something that I've been familiar with for over 25 years. So that's, I think, just the local atmosphere of giving and putting out good vibes, and you'll receive some good vibes in the future, and you can go ahead and invest in yourself and your community by doing good things. And I just feel like this year we've received a lot of that in return for all the good things that we hopefully have done and will continue to do in the future. I've got 3 school shows, January, March, and May. And, it's probably going to be some of those kids' first time seeing wrestling. And we're going to help them invest in their own school environment because it's benefits for those schools. So that's something that's really cool. We'll bring pro wrestling to kids for the first time and help them out in their school financially.
John submitted a story that I'd like to read to you guys. He goes, I'd love to submit a story for Wrestling with Positivity about the Long Island Ghostbusters, a children's charity group that blends independent wrestling fandom with community outreach. This year alone, the group raised over $13,000 by dressing as Ghostbusters and hosting fundraisers, charity appearances, and wrestling adjacent events. They frequently work alongside Victory Pro Wrestling, setting up merch tables featuring unique crossovers, Ghostbusters times pro wrestling patches, and stickers, using fandom to create connections and give back. Every year, they also participate in the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast Toy Drive, raffling off incredible props and limited edition Ghostbusters merchandise to raise money and purchase hundreds of gifts for the Toys for Tots, helping ensure kids have something special during the holidays. This is an independent wrestling rooted story about community, fandom, charity, and showing up for the kids when it matters most. And I'd be honored to help bring it to life. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Max, and if you don't know me, I'm just a fan. I do a little bit of production too, but if you've ever seen me at shows, you know that I am super energetic and hype and jumping up and down, dancing, cheering, screaming, and that's kind of always who I've been at wrestling shows. And I got into indie wrestling when I was in a really bad time in my life. I kind of lost all my family. I didn't have really any kind of support system, and I was trying to use this bright, energetic character basically as a way to say, as a way to kind of like distract myself and almost like manifest a better time. I was like, okay, if I'm like really happy and I'm just, you know, super in your face with like how much I support you and how much I want you to do amazing, maybe things will get better for me. And earlier this year, I'd gone on a mental health hiatus, and I kind of just went off grid, stopped going to shows, stopped posting on social media, stopped streaming. And I had done that because I was starting to feel like maybe all of this hype, all the support, all of this time and energy that I was putting into supporting all these people was for nothing. I felt like nobody wanted me there, nobody cared. It wouldn't matter if I was there or if it wasn't. And I was just starting to feel really regretful and unsure about my space in the wrestling world. And I made a post just letting people know that I was going to be kind of MIA for a little bit so nobody freaked out. And when I came back online and going to shows, I had so many people, fans, promoters, production members, wrestlers that were reaching out to me to give me support and let me know that they were here for me and how much that they loved having me at shows and how important I am and how much they appreciate the energy I bring and that my support didn't go unnoticed. There were so many people who reached out to me in that time. I know Harry did. I talked to Frankie from Fight Life about it too. He kind of was like in a boat where he was also just kind of feeling burnt out. The Goon Squad, Ryan Frost is a great one. He always reaches out to me, checks in on me. The Vanguard crew, the Warrens, as I call them, they helped with like resources to help take care of my mental health. But the one that really struck the biggest chord to me was Landon Hale. He had sent me some messages to just let me know about how much he appreciates the support and just helping encourage me to take care of myself and how much, you know, it's important to put your mental health first and take care of yourself, and just giving his overall support and encouraging words. And that really helped me a lot. And it helped me realize that people do actually notice me and they do appreciate the support and the energy that I put out, and it's not for nothing. So that meant a lot to me. And just another kind of side story that's not as deep and meaningful, but recently this year I started my workout journey, I guess you could say. I started going to the gym more, and I posted this on Twitter, and Gabby Forza and Bear Bronson were so excited. They were so excited, and Gabby had reached out to me and had like helped me navigate through some stuff that I was confused about and helped make like me starting this journey so much easier, and I love her eternally. I think everybody knows that I'm Gabby's #1 fan. So that was just a little bit more lighthearted of like a really nice, fun, positive moment that I've had in wrestling. But I'm thankful for the family and the amazing people that I've met in the wrestling world. I'm so thankful for every single one of you. Also, wrestling brought me to my boyfriend, who's a wrestler, so that's also really awesome. So I'm thankful for every single one of you. If I didn't mention you, I'm sorry. There's just so many people that I love that I've met through wrestling, including Tiffany. Tiffany, love you, girl. And I'm so excited to hear everybody's stories on this project.
All right, so boom, I got a story to tell, right? And this is going to end up spotlighting a bunch of people who have helped me along the way, but I wanted to make sure I ran through the story to give these folks their props. So flashback to October of 2023, right? There's a creator in the wrestling space named Righteous Reg who does this BW 500 list every year. I see it for myself for the first time because I'm looking for indie wrestlers to start spotlighting. And this is early in my wrestling content days. And I don't know none of these wrestlers because at this point I'm bleeding WWE. Like, that's all I know. But what I started doing is randomly picking people based on their names to see if it sounds cool. So there's two names that immediately pop up and come to mind. The first one that came up was Promise Braxton, which, by the way, shout out to homie Promise, who's been nothing but nice and open to me, killing it at Reality of Wrestling. And the second name is Pretty Boy Smooth. So I'm at the beginning phases of my little content clips where I spotlight wrestling matches doing my voiceovers and building a little steam. So I YouTube search Pretty Boy Smooth to check out some of his matches, and I see he got one with Lee Moriarty. Cool. So I'm watching the match and I'm like, yo, he can go for real. So these boys is moving in this match, by the way. And I do the video. I'm saying random stuff that comes to mind. I'm literally saying anything I could think of. PB Smooth then remembered he was well over 6 foot tall and built like a backup NFL linebacker. Started imposing his will. That boy Lee was grooving. But then Lee got dropped to the floor like water bottles in the back of a woman's Nissan Altima. God damn. Smooth sees it and he appreciates it immediately. He's messing with it off rip. And then from there, we begin chopping it up. Fast forward to April 2024 in Philly, GCW For the Culture. Pretty Boy Smooth is on that card. And this is WrestleMania weekend. So I'm going to the show regardless of the fact, and I pop out. And this is where I meet him for the first time. And I'm having a conversation telling him like, hey, my name is Vonnie, da-da-da. I did the videos and stuff for you, X, Y, and Z. And again, at first, you never know what kind of interaction you gonna get when you meet a wrestler in this space. But he was nothing but cool. Bro signed the mask. We took the photo out. We chopping it up. Solid. We keep in touch. Fast forward months and months later. Now that's my dog at this point, right? Like, we chopping it up here and there. I'm working on more content for him. I feel like finally somebody appreciates my work in this space, and I don't really feel like I'm alone in all of this shit, and it's cool. So one day, out the blue, bro texted me and asked me if I wanted to do some work for Exodus Pro Wrestling. And I'm like, EC3? Exodus Pro Wrestling? And at this point, this is a gamble for him because, not for nothing, he's actively vouching for me in a very solid promotion. So not only do I owe it to myself, but I also owe it to him to not let him down. So I got a meeting with these XO leaders to discuss content and everything. We talking, everything goes well, and they decide to take a gamble. So at this point, now I'm a content creator for Exodus Pro Wrestling. Just last month, I hit a full year working for Exodus Pro Wrestling, and I love it. The team is awesome. Everybody is helpful and receptive. They actually allow me to be me while still pushing and promoting the brand. You think about it, bro. They're letting a VTuber infiltrate the wrestling scene. VTubing is becoming canon in pro wrestling, and that's my mission. Everybody wants to see everybody succeed. I finally found my tribe. And all of this came because one person decided to take it upon himself to promote black wrestling. One person decided to deem me a person he can trust in this industry. One group decided to trust me with assisting in their vision while still letting me be unapologetically me. So now I am one blessed man and one happy camper. That's why I pay it forward.
Hello there. It's your Ocean State superhero, the Mighty Bosch, coming to you to talk to you about wrestling with positivity in and around the independent wrestling world, at the behest of the Queen of the Indies herself. One of the things I'd like to talk to you about and let you guys know is that myself and my sidekick, Sid Morgan, who actually spearheads this kind of stuff, do pro wrestling story times at various libraries. So far, we've done them in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and actually we even did it once at a bakery, which was a lot of fun. And what we do is I am the defending, reigning pro wrestling storytime champion, And myself and Sid will go. We will read a picture book, usually wrestling themed, and we usually have a friend with us who also reads a picture book. So you get a singles reading, you get a tag team reading, and the kids seem to enjoy it, which is great because, the amazing part about that is aside from the kids being there, which could be anywhere from toddlers and carriers to, 10, 12, 13-year-olds sometimes, is that the parents usually outnumber the kids 2-1 because they're here in wrestling and library and they're like, what is this? And it's a lot of fun. And we read books and there's a craft and everything like that. And what usually happens as of late, and as of late I mean pretty much all the time, is that somebody is very disgruntled or upset that they weren't asked to come read a book. So what we have to end up doing is, well, they want to be in charge of everything. So they challenge for the pro wrestling title so that they can do the readings going forward. And we have a match, and the best part about that is that the kids and the parents get to participate because they can either ring the bell or they count to 3 because they don't have a referee and we don't have a ring. So we do that, and it's a lot of fun. And what's usually happened so far is that I continue to dominate and defend and retain my title. And the person who challenged is usually kind of sad that they didn't get to win. So what we usually do is then we say that person can take the kids and the parents and go over and do the craft. And the craft is either coloring in a lucha mask or a coloring page version of the Storytime belt. And that's a lot of fun because you get all kinds of wacky colors and they can cut the belt out and string it up and wear it, get a lucha mask, and it's a lot of fun. And it brings a lot of joy to the kids and the parents. And it also helps encourage things like going to the library and thinking about reading and maybe doing more reading and such like that. So it's a fun experience for everybody. It's family friendly, and it's at a public library, so it's free. And so that's good stuff like that. And then one of the other things that we do is as part of the roster for the Renegade Wrestling Alliance in Rhode Island, Sid and I, along with a bunch of other wrestlers and talent and everything like that, usually get invited to go help and not participate, but go help and cheer on the participants of the Special Olympics. We've done that for a couple of years, and that's really great. And it's been a lot of fun because we've been able to give back a bit to these wonderful, amazing athletes who actually come and give all their support to us whenever we're around them. And it's such a wonderful kind of synergy that at the Renegade Wrestling Alliance, we actually do a fundraiser in June, a wrestling show fundraiser called Spectacle. And if I'm not mistaken, all proceeds from the show get donated to the Icebreakers, which is the Penguin Plunge section of the Special Olympians that we held. And they go and do that, and it raises money for them, and they come to the show, and we go help them at the Special Olympics. And it's just a really great, wonderful, synergistic what's the word I'm looking for when you're synergistic? Partnership. That's it, partnership. So yeah, those are two of the big things that we do here. Again, myself, my sidekick not here at the moment, Sid Morgan, that participate and do stuff, and we're looking to hopefully do more around there. So if you hear of any libraries looking for story times, let us know. And again, thank you much to the Queen of the Indies for allowing us to do stuff like this and bring more positivity to and around the area. Have a great holiday season, folks.
Story. PB Smooth was on the podcast recently, and he did share a Wrestling with Positivity story, but he actually sent me another one. So I'm going to read you what he wrote me. He said, so a story I didn't dive into too much on the podcast that applies is the PB Provides Scholarship. In short, I felt that skills involving communication, reading, writing, reporting, interviewing, journalism, reading, listening, comprehension are all things in today's world that we suffer a serious lack in. Between that and wanting to create more opportunity for people like me, I created the PB Provides Scholarship at my alma mater, Mercyhurst University. The scholarship is a one-time award of $1,000 to a student for a semester to provide the financial assistance to a Black student, incoming freshman, or already attending Mercy Hearst in a pursuit of a degree in communication like I accomplished for in undergrad. When I first started the scholarship, it was money I saved up along with a tax return. Not long after creating the scholarship, the George Floyd situation happened, and for as tragic as that was, there was a number of people from the wrestling community that donated money to the scholarship to help me keep it going, and as of today, we have been able to give out the award over 5 times to different students. In the time I've had both fans and promoters donated to it, and I'm eternally grateful for the wrestling community helped me accomplish one of my goals to give back in a major way. I still have the scholarship going. I just don't post much about it because I never wanted to come up as a performative for clout points. So I am going to attach in the description below the link that you can donate if you would wish to. So I think this is a beautiful cause, so thank you so much for sharing this with us. Another submission from my friend Alex, and I'm going to read this to you guys. I think my favorite positive thing about wrestling is how it brings everyone together, which I know sounds probably corny, but young, old men, women, non-binary, straight, gay, queer, in other ways, whatever at least the promotions that I could go to all have been welcoming and everyone is celebrated. And I love that it's like we all forget reality for a while the show is happening and are all just living in the moment and enjoying it together. Like, I love that I can just sit next to random strangers and sometimes become friends with them after the shows. Even if I don't talk to them after, we're still friends for that period of time. And we're all just collectively agreeing to ignore reality and just live in the moment. And I think that it is really beautiful. And it's something that we need right now a lot. I love seeing the joy of people's faces. I love the little moments like where I was sitting next to some kid once and Nick Robles came out. And the kid was like, "Oh my God, that was my counselor." He was so excited to tell me that. And I also love watching them watching each other. Like you could see a lot of these times if you look around. Just seeing the wrestlers watching each other's matches and the pride and excitement of their faces is really cool to see. I don't know if I have any really specific moments because it's more like a collective of things I love about this. I don't know if this is helpful, but for what you're trying to do, I just know that I'm really grateful for having this in my life and having the chance to see it all and the work and the passion and the creativity and the love that goes into this. And to be able to see a close-up like this, it's such a privilege. It's so special, and I'm just so grateful for that. And I know I say that a lot, but it's because I really, really mean it, and it's really special things. And it's just so cool getting to witness all of this firsthand and so close, and seeing how much it means to not just the fans, but the wrestlers as well. And just the pride of the show that they put into is really awesome. So, thank you.